All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely demystify tarot cards. Now, if you've ever seen a deck, your mind probably jumps straight to, smoky rooms, crystal balls, and some mystical fortune teller predicting your doom. But we're going to push past all those Hollywood cliches to uncover a seriously surprising history. We'll explore how these cards actually function as a highly structured, totally practical tool for modern introspection. I absolutely love breaking down complex cultural phenomena, and the tarot is honestly one of the most fascinating out there. To keep things moving, here is our agenda for This Explainer. First, unlocking the tarot. Second, from games to divination. Third, the major arcana. Fourth, the four suits. And finally, number 5, modern tarot and you. So let's just jump right into section 1, unlocking the tarot. Okay, forget the rumors of ancient sorcery or dark magic for a second, because get this, tarot actually began as a fun parlor game. Literally, just a game. Back in the 15th century, nobles in the Italian Renaissance commissioned these beautiful hand-painted cards to play a trick-taking game, kind of similar to hearts or spades. And because they were carried by merchants and sailors along massive maritime trade routes through places like Venice, tarot was this incredible product of cross-cultural exchange. It was pure entertainment. The art on the cards featured classical mythology and family crests, stuff those nobles would have instantly recognized. Now, no matter how wild or modern the artwork has gotten over the centuries, the fundamental structure is completely unchanged. Every single standard tarot deck contains exactly 78 cards. It's best to think of this as a mathematical framework, essentially a giant filing cabinet designed to break down the entirety of the human experience. It is an incredibly organized system that categorizes literally everything, from your deepest, most existential life crises all the way down to the mundane, annoying little irritations we deal with every single day. Moving right along to section 2, from games to divination. Let's trace how a simple game turned into an esoteric tool. We start in the 15th century with those Italian parlor games we just talked about, but then jump ahead to the 1770s. A guy named Lila created the very first deck specifically designed for divination, basically inventing card-based fortune-telling. Then, in 1861, French occultist Eliphas Lévy tied the cards to serious esoteric studies like numerology. But the absolute game-changer? That happened in 1909. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck was published, and the artist, Pamela Colman Smith, illustrated every single card with intuitive, readable scenes. Her artwork fundamentally changed tarot forever, making it incredibly accessible for anyone to read just by looking at the pictures. Now let's look under the hood in section 3, the major arcana. So the deck is split into 2 main parts. The first part is the major arcana, which is made up of 22 cards. Think of these as the heavy hitters, the grand archetypes. When a major arcana card shows up, it's symbolizing the big picture, fate, and those major life lessons that often feel completely outside of our direct control. These are the overarching themes steering our spiritual evolution. On the flip side, we have the minor arcana, which covers the remaining 56 cards of the deck. If the major arcana is the overarching weather of your life, the minor arcana is basically what you're having for lunch on a Tuesday. These cards ground us. They symbolize our day-to-day activities, the routines we can actually control, and the regular, everyday people we interact with. Now, going back to those 22 major arcana cards, they actually form an incredible narrative called the Fool's Journey. It's basically a framing device for humanity's path toward enlightenment. Card 0 is the Fool, pure innocence, a free spirit just stepping off a cliff into the unknown. As you progress numerically through the cards, you're acquiring knowledge, you're battling authority, you're overcoming deep, scary challenges, and finally you reach the very last card, the World, which represents spiritual graduation and ultimate harmony. It is a complete, step-by-step roadmap of psychological growth. And what's great is that modern practitioners give us these wonderfully snappy ways to understand these archetypes. Take the Tower card. Traditionally, it looks literally terrifying. It's usually a burning building getting struck by lightning. But modern interpreters, like the Tarot Lady, distill the lesson perfectly into 3 words: burn it down. When sudden, chaotic upheaval strikes your life, the lesson isn't just to panic about the disaster. It's a sign to clear out the old, broken structures so you can rebuild on a much stronger foundation. That brings us to section 4, the 4 suits. Okay, prepare to have your mind blown just a little bit here, because we can totally bridge the gap between tarot and what you probably have sitting in your junk drawer right now. The traditional Italian suits used in tarot are swords, cups,
coins, often called pentacles, and batons, which we usually call wands. Well, those correspond directly to the standard French suits we use to play poker today: spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs. It's a fascinating reminder that these esoteric tools share the exact same DNA as a standard deck of playing cards.
To make reading those 56 minor arcana cards a breeze, here is a super quick cheat sheet. Wands are tied to fire. That's your action, your drive, your willpower. Cups connect to water, so naturally they govern emotions, feelings, and relationships. Swords are associated with air, cutting right through to logic, intellect, and communication. And finally, pentacles align with earth, representing the material world, your finances, nature, and stability. Once you lock in this grid, the minor arcana instantly makes perfect, logical sense. And that leads perfectly into our final stop, Section 5, Modern Tarot in You. Today, artists have taken this 15th century framework and completely reimagined it for the 21st century. You absolutely do not have to relate to medieval knights to use tarot today. There is literally a deck for everyone. We have the Cook's Tarot for foodies, the retro 1950s Housewives Tarot, the modern Witch Tarot, which updates classic imagery with really diverse contemporary characters. There is even the Bright Idea deck, which is strictly designed for corporate brainstorming, no mystical baggage required, and yes, even a Zombie Tarot for fans of suburban horror. The sheer brilliance of these modern decks is how they take highly esoteric concepts and make them instantly relatable. For example, in the Housewives Tarot, the Devil card, which traditionally represents toxic addiction and materialism, is drawn as a massive, tempting slice of chocolate cake. Or the Seven of Swords, a card usually about strategy or trickery, is drawn as a businesswoman in a sharp suit giving a high-stakes presentation. It takes these intimidating, ancient concepts and grounds them right into our daily struggles. I absolutely love this quote from someone reviewing the Bright Idea deck. They wrote, "It feels like having a conversation with a close, kind-hearted, wise, funny friend, useful to move beyond card meanings to come up with your own." I think that hits the nail on the head. Today, tarot is way less about fortune-telling or predicting some fixed future and far more about functioning as a visual idea processor. It's a prompt for your brain. It helps you generate fresh perspectives on whatever problem you happen to be tackling that day. So ultimately, these 78 cards, whether they're showing emperors, modern witches, or a giant slice of chocolate cake, are really just mirrors. They reflect our own human experience back at us, giving us a structured moment to pause, think, and evaluate where we're at. It leaves us with a pretty compelling question to end on. With so many incredible variations out there, which deck will tell your story, and what does your personal fool's journey look like today? Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and definitely keep exploring.